Back on the stream. Today is day, what's the day today? It's day 47, right? 47 of a big week. We've made some insane progress in the last 24 hours or something, which I'm really excited to share. One thing I've just implemented right at the minute, I mean basically during the night, that was a good build. And I'm gonna show it to you live now. I'm just waiting for, literally waiting for the pipeline to build. And then we'll be able to test this. It's gonna be on the beta environment initially. And it's about transparency. Transparency is, as I said, it's the reason why I'm doing this in the first place. It's about believing that a transparent prop firm can actually exist. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just not gonna work. And we're like, if we don't fake slippage, if we don't honor payouts, maybe it just doesn't work. There's definitely a possibility that this doesn't work. But I believe that this capital structure has a place to stay if you operate in a transparent manner, but maybe it's not the case. And I'm going all in thinking that it is the case, that we can operate in a structure that's transparent to the traders. I want to say, I might be wrong, but I'm going all in thinking that I can be right. And I think if we're right, it's a big step. It's a big step for the prop firm industry and for traders overall. And I think I genuinely people just find me insane, but I think we can be the #1 prop firm. It's gonna take so much time, but I think give me just this year and you'll see the progress we make in crypto, and give me some more time and then in TradFi overall. Anyway, the big thing I want to share is slippage transparency. Very often a question I get asked, or we get asked, is what's the slippage? How do you replicate the order book? And let me actually find an account that has wait, don't I have, let me check something. I need to just rebuild the pipeline, so that's why it actually may not work. We'll see it live. We've added slippage on two instances, and I'm going to show you. Well, actually 3. All right, come on, man, please. Don't do this to me now. Wait, do I have something building? Okay. So I'm literally doing this live. I don't be funny if that doesn't work. Okay. All right. So we've got one of our engineers pushing something. Let me check. Maybe, all right, let me just check with different accounts. And I think we actually have a bug in beta, which is annoying. All right, so we're not gonna give up here. I'll show you my local host, and then just give me some time to troubleshoot this stuff. It's just it's honestly pretty weird. We've built an uptime monitor. So let me just check on the uptime monitor if we have. Yeah, and actually beta is done. Interesting. Interesting. I actually have to find out why it's done. I have no clue why. I'm definitely the culprit here because I pushed a lot of stuff. All right. Anyway, we'll show you in local, and we'll get sorted in the next like hour or so. So that's my local. When you see in trade history, we have the slippage. So now for every trade that you make on the platform, you'll be able to see the exact slippage. Obviously, slippage is low depending on the asset. Sometimes it's at 0%. That means you got filled at the top of the book. Sometimes it's even negative if you have like some kind of latency. And for example, platinum, because it's a small asset, we have like 0.086%. So technically it's a small thing. It's obviously something we were monitoring before in the backend, and it's just now something that anyone can see. And we're going a step beyond with the transparency dashboard. Transparency dashboard showing the exact slippage per asset. So for transparency, this is targeting beta environment, not prod, because like we haven't gone to prod with this. It was just implemented. But today you can check per assets what's the slippage. For example, for height, you can check per buckets. We've taken the last 7 days, and you can see like per buckets what's the fill rate. If we take something that's very liquid, platinum, well, just very few trades. What's very liquid here? MON, I assume. Yeah, MON is very liquid, 0.24% slippage. Euro, Solidity, no, Ondo is probably not liquid. Anyway, you see the ETH is liquid as hell. So it's a big thing. Like it's a big thing for a firm. Again, technically, it's like super easy to implement. What we did add technically in the last 24 hours is this uptime monitor. You see actually live, like now we've got degraded environment done in beta, and you have an indication here. So if you have any bugs, you can just go in the transparency board and just check for yourself what's going on. Obviously, we want to give uptime guarantees. We have this in our SLAs, especially as we go live with funded accounts. We've made a lot of infra changes yesterday. We'll keep doing, like, bulk of our work is going into the infra. It's my work. I'm not doing anything on the DevOps side. My job is rather light backend work, or like backend work that does not change touch the very complex part of the system, which is today the trading saga, like the orchestration of each trade. It goes much beyond this because you've got like orchestration of limit orders, different order types, and that I'm not doing because I'm not, we've got, James is a crazy guy. So uptime monitor, slippage, I'm excited for slippage, to be honest. And the other thing is something, I don't know, sometimes that's definitely not on the roadmap, but I was like, I'm genuinely trying to build this platform like I would, like the best platform possible. And there's a lot of stuff that we have to improve. But I was like, if I can do it, I have to assess just how much time it takes, and then maybe go, give it a go. And it's the pair trading functionality. So when we discuss about the markets, we sometimes discuss about the going long or short an asset. And sometimes you want to execute that in one single trade. Well, one single click. In the back end, reality is you have multiple trades that get executed. So let's say, well, today I have a position. Let me close this one. But let's say you want to go long BTC. Well, let's say I want to go long hype. I want to go long hype and short a basket of not super relevant tokens, like, I don't know, STX, BCH, and Aptos. So you have this chart that gets updated with you can see on the, if we take an hour, you can see it's definitely a good uptrend. Here, you can see the different order books. And then you can choose the weighting, like the weights between assets. Here I'm just doing 50-50, which means that I have as much long exposure as I have on short exposure. And then you can just simply go ahead and place an order. And then everything just gets triggered on the fly. And that's basically what the thing does. We don't show the bundled, like we don't show the pair trade exactly here. It's not that complex. It's not complex at all. The point is rather we want to give maybe we'll change that, like ability to bundle, unbundle trades, but the goal is to still have this be a simple UX. And for those that are interested, you can just toggle this pair trade feature on, and then it's going to be showed on the user interface. It's a pretty cool thing. I'm excited for it. It's something I'm going to use personally. Let me check. Let me check what we've added, and I think this is actually just it. Again, we've had a lot of uptime or like infra improvement, which is our top priority. If we go back to the recap 2, the focus for this week is, and as I told the team, it's as we focus 100% on downtime and latency monitoring, and then we implement the rest. Affiliate dashboard is actually live as well. I have to take my app.ProprXYZ. Let me show you, because I have different accounts to QA or to test multiple different things. But anyway, this one, I have a unique ref link, so you can go on referrals, and you can check my affiliate dashboard, which is quite simple at the moment. You can see who signed up through my account, and you can see that they haven't made a purchase just yet, because we would log all the transactions that happen of the affiliate on this dashboard. You can see the earnings. Obviously, I haven't earned anything because there is nothing to pay for. So that's, if we do an update on the roadmap and where we stand for this week. Obviously, it's only Tuesday morning. So we'll still make changes. The translation is done, and Discord account binding, we have to merge that over to beta. Affiliate is done. That's not done, that's a big priority next. And then leaderboard, let me actually check. I think leaderboard is up in, no, leaderboard is in, there's a PR for it, but it's not merged just yet. But we're making progress on leaderboard. Analytics revamp, actually have to work on it just after it. After this stream, and then funding fees, dynamic fees. So we'll be okay. There's a bit of work also to do on the KYC and the launchpad, because we have the seed vaults in 2 days now, 2 days and 7 hours. It's definitely going to be tight, I have to say. We have an issue with Onfido, our KYC provider. Don't ask me why, it's just so annoying. And I think this is going to be it for today. The other thing I'm working on is this FAQ. Let me check, is beta still down? Okay, beta is up again. This FAQ where we've added a few things like the transparency board. We'll add more stuff. The goal is to have this done by tomorrow, once we have the first funded traders on the platform. Target is still to have this for tomorrow. It's going to be a stretch, but Godspeed. Now we look at the markets, and we've got exciting updates there too. Let me actually close this trace. All right. If you've used the platform in the last 2 days or so, and you've noticed some latency issues or bugs, go in and use it again. I think we've upped our infra, we've changed how some of the services are orchestrated, and the app and latency is just not so much better now. I'm excited for it. 100K to 1 million account. Big milestone. We've crossed 200K. So we up 100%. It's a big thing. I'm excited for this. You don't show we don't have the trades there. Let me see. Let me take this account. There we go. There we go. There we go. So we have a BTC long with more notional. So we are nets. We are 150K long, and that's hedged with the hype short. Views on the market is, and I'm happy that played out pretty well. This is loading now. Also, just technically, tech-wise, we are talking to the MMT team to have an integration done. We're happy to move forward. I think it's more about the terms, basically what it takes financially to get there, but we're happy to. I'd be happy to move forward. Anyway, our view was, and that played out quite well, is our view since Sunday and Monday was we've hedged our hype short with a BTC long, because we noticed that we had no meaningful escalation on the weekends, and that we've had a lot of trap shorts. That was our guess. Again, so when you're swing trading, it's all about probabilities, and probability of I basically saw a little downside, because we had little escalation, and obviously the medium time frame, I think it's pretty cooked. That's why we're still neutral, although we had a bit of delta. And the test is played out, I would say. Now it's about how much more we can squeeze. And if we look at this drop in OI, that's exactly, basically, if you look at the streams from Sunday and Monday, whatever we said is played out exactly, which was that we would exit on an unwind of positioning. For example, we had a bit of a drop last night. OI had piled in, so people were adding to shorts, and then they got absolutely flushed here. You see it here with the liquidation of shorts. My view now is, like, if you don't have a position, I would not enter here, because, you know, the highest EV of extracting value was here. Now it's, I would say it's a very different trade. I don't like to draw lines necessarily. I think lines are like, you know, levels are great to manage risks, but we've had this pretty clear break. And I think, I mean, those lines sometimes just help me find good levels. And I wouldn't be surprised to see us like go here and then test range lows again. I would think, like I'm not sure. So next step for us is just to close this BTC long. The question is, where do we close it? I think that we can clean a bit more of this open interest, and go there. I think we also had STRC, which got above. Wait, yeah, my trading view account is on a different account. Yeah, let me pull up the trading view account. In terms of tools, like I'm not very sophisticated. I use Velo for derivative data, and then MMC sometimes. I think the data is great, just the platform UX I still struggle with it. And I'm not like, you have a lot of traders that rely on order book depth, on order flow. I've never found edge in this. I've never studied this enough for me to derive any edge. And I have to stay in my line. Like, if I start to incorporate so many different indicators, then I'm gonna be chopped to hell. So I just stay in my line. I don't know this stuff. I want to learn at some point, but my system just works great so far. It's worked great in the last years, and I don't want to change. What I wanted to show is STRC. STRC being the product of MicroStrategy for the, I think it gives like above 10% yields on your BTC, and won't go into the details, mostly because I'm not fully aware of the details in all transparency. But what I know is every time it goes above 100, simple rule, they are able to sell this instrument and then to buy BTC. And here the 10th of March, you know, this zone here, for example, like basically the first week of March, If you look at the price action of BTC, you've had this nice uptrend from beginning of March to a bit after, because realistically the capital that they have, they deploy it like some days after. And my view is that we can replicate something of the sort. No, it's about a timing question. I stick to my idea of. The first reason why we entered the trade was that we had a drop in. Well, we knew positioning was overcrowded to shorts. But I don't want to go long into next weekends. I think there's still a lot of headline risks. And I think if we don't go to 69.70 today, or like in the next 24 hours, I'll probably not be on the long side and be default short. I would change my mind if we were to stay above 72. I think it's pretty clear signal to flip long on 72, just on the chart. But the risks, like the headline risks, are to me just way too high. You can get. It's what's happening now is very. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see a -10, -20% BTC day. Things still look very bad. Equities, they don't. None of the equities look good. It's usually at these moments that you have to buy, right? It's when things look bad that you have to stay in. So it's a great. This is a great point. It's just not. I don't feel super comfortable taking this trade, going massively long with no hedges. I think there will be much clearer trades this year, and I wouldn't. What we did highlight on that was 2 days ago. So we did highlight this scenario where you can retest the 4-hour 200-day and then drop further. If the Strait of Hormuz stays closed, again, not the best expert there, but you can tell that things are just getting worse and worse in terms of supply chain, energy, fertilizers. Things are just getting very bad, and that's impacting inflation across the board, and that's then also impacting how the central banks thinks about the interest rates. And then the outlook is just not good. So, if we can, I'm not sure how you can visualize the traffic of the Hormuz Strait, but the source of truth to me should be well, this website is actually great. You can see what's happening there. It's actually a great website. First time I look into this. It's restricted, and that means that it is restricted, and that means the ongoing issues in Asia. I had shared an article of the Singapore ministry. I'm not sure which ministry, but anyway. It's as long as this is restricted, there's little Even as this opens up, it's done pretty big damages that I think is going to be just hard to recover from. And your downside is very clear to me, and your upside is very capped. And so being short is a much cleaner positioning, and that's why, like, when we take off the long, we'll be short by default, and I just feel so much more comfortable. Even like if things go back to normal, I think this has left a pretty bitter feel in the market. I just don't think we reverse, because to replenish to offset 30 days of restriction, it's going to take a lot of time. So I wouldn't be too bullish. I think the upside of BTC is capped at like 80K. And downside, you don't want to be bear hold, because we're like 50% down. So my assumption is that this stays a range and you go to 70. I'm interested in taking short exposure. If you go above 72, you take off that short exposure, and then you maybe play 72.80. I think we'll see. We'll see that in real time. Anyway, 200K is a great milestone. It's, we're 10% of the way there. Well, a bit less, but we're getting there, and yeah, I'm pretty confident we'll achieve this. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in.